Selamlar. Fallout 3'te kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. En son Jefferson anıtına girmiştik. Rivet City'ye gidiyorduk. Karşımıza bu çıkmıştı. Buraya girmiştik. Buradan bir devam edelim bakalım. Basement Gift Shop Rotunda.
Hello again, America. This is John Henry Eden, your president. There are some things we should talk about, if that's all right. And now, one of my inspiration quotes. The mouth of your president, John Henry Eden. Straight up. It's easier to do a job right than to explain why you didn't. This is President Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of America. I'm President John Henry Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of warmth and reason in this cold, unreasonable world.
I'll wear your bones around my neck!
am at a loss. My beloved wife is gone. In her place is my son, small and helpless. As much as this place means to me, as much as it meant to Catherine, this is no place for an infant, especially an infant without his mother.
This is President Eden, and I was hoping...
It's time to go. The project was in trouble before, both internally and externally. Progress has come to a halt, both because our recalculations have gotten us nowhere, and because the mutant attacks occur several times a day. I regret that it has come to this. I know that if I leave, our work may come to an end. Madison has never been on the best of terms with the Brotherhood. Aside from Scribe Rothschild, she'll tolerate none of them. If she's the one dealing with them, who knows what will happen? It breaks my heart to go. But I must put the needs of my child before my own.
Hello again, America the Magnificent. This is President Eden, and I was hoping we could talk. The Magnificent. This is President Eden, and I was hoping we could talk.
To die!
You're listening to Enclave Radio. I'm John Henry Eden, President of the Enclave, President of America, President of your heart. Now, one of my inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry Eden, straight to your heart. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. This is President Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of America. President John Henry Eden, and you're listening to On Radio, the voice of love and reason in this cold, unreasonable world.
Yani burada bir görev zinciri olması lazım.
This is
Erkenden
On
geldik.
Radio with your host, me, President John Henry Eden.
Şimdilik çıkalım buradan. Ha, şöyle sağdan girmiştik. Bir de şöyle gidelim. Evet, buradan çıkamıyoruz.
Greetings, dearest America. This is your president, John Henry Eden. Let's chat, shall we?
So here I am, back where it all began. Project Purity. God, we wanted to change the world. We really
Greetings
thought
again,
the
sweet
waters
America.
of
This
life
is
could be a
President
reality.
John Henry Eden.
And that's why this is a
I'd like to
momentous
chat,
occasion.
if you've got a moment.
Because even after 19 years, I still believe it. Project Purity can and will be operational. This is just the beginning.
Bu kayıtları daha sonra dinleyeceğim. Şöyle gidelim.
Hello. Welcome, sir or madam, to Crazy Wolfgang's Traveling Now. What odds and...
President Eden, and I was hoping we could talk.
Nothing but the highest quality leftovers, junk, and crap.
You're listening to Enclave Radio. I'm John Henry Eden, President of the Enclave, President of America, President of your heart. Hello again, America. This is John Henry Eden, your President. There are some things we should talk about, if that's all right.
Thanks. See?
Evet, Rivet City'ye geldik.
Please help me. I've been drinking this. Oh, please.
Welcome to Rivet City. Please wait while the bridge extends.
And now, one of my inspirational quotes.
Hold it right there.
Mouth of your President,
State your business in
John
Rivet
Henry
City.
Eden. Straight to your heart. Associate with men of good quality.
And who might your father be? If he lives on this boat,
For it is better to be alone than in bad company. This is President Eden.
oh yeah?
Listening to Enclave
You keep up this smart-ass attitude, and you're gonna wind up... All right. You can go on in. If I hear about any trouble, you're gonna wind up in the river.
Yes? I'm on duty. Make it quick.
I'm President
Oh,
John
really?
Henry Eden,
If someone took...
and you're
Oh,
listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of warmth and reason in this cold, unreasonable world. Sweet America, hello again. This is President.
Good to see
I'd
you.
like to have a chat.
Want to do some buff out? Maybe a little... Who are you? Got any psycho? I run the chem shop, but I'm broke. That's what Cindy says too, but I got the itch. I need it bad. It's a place to live, safe from raiders and super mutants. With Dr. Lee on our side, maybe we can even begin to rebuild the world. Huh? History?
Stay away from me. What do you want? Are you one of them? I suppose it doesn't matter if I tell you. I used to be a slave. I saw a slaver on this ship. His name is Sister. Really?
Greetings again,
Can you help
Sweet
me?
America. This is
I've been so
President
worried with him
John
around.
Henry Eden,
I can hardly
and I'd
sleep
like
at
to
night.
chat if you've got a moment.
Well, are you going? I...
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, you are not authorized. Please don't make me shoot you, sir.
If you see anything... Maybe you don't know who you're talking to. I'm Commander... Yeah, well, I don't have time for newbies like you. She's some sort of genius. You know, one of those egghead sign. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship. Oh yeah, he's a mess. Sorry, but I don't really know much about it. More worried about what's going wrong with the here.
Hello? Haven't run into you before. You probably wouldn't remember me anyway. I'm Mr. Lopez.
President of the Enclave. President of
Nobody
America.
does. I'm not...
President
Don't worry.
of your heart.
It won't be a problem. Thank you.
Vay be.
I'm looking for troublemakers. I'm on duty. Make it quick.
inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry Eaton, straight to your heart. It's easier to do a job right than to explain why you didn't.
Good to see you.
If you want a gun, they call me Shrapnel. I run this place.
Greetings again, sweet America. This is President John Henry
What?
Eaton, and I'd like to chat if you've got a moment.
Thanks. History? Fuck if I...
Good to see you.
For the most advanced scientific center in the capital wasteland.
Please excuse me. I help Dr. Lee when she needs equipment moved. I am no scientist.
I find your...
Look, Dr. Zimmer, we've been over this. We don't know about your runaway robot, and we don't care. This lab is dedicated to solving real problems.
Yes.
I'm Janice Kaplinski, Chief Bot. I did see a man talking to Dr. Lee, but she's already in a bad mood. I'd hate to make it... You should If it hasn't got to do with the science quarters, I'm probably not the one to ask. And Dr. Lee's...
But Dr. Lee...
Dr. Lee is trying to save lives, and your constant interruptions are interfering with those efforts. Now please, stand aside.
I'm sure the good doctor's work with water purification is fascinating. But if you only knew what was at stake, the technology in that android...
What's
Janice,
at stake?
have you
You won't tell me what's at stake. Vagaries and secrecy. A robot's a robot, Zimmer, no matter how shiny the
Hello
paint
again.
job. Now,
This
please.
is President Eaton.
Ignorance
I'd
and
like to have a
facetiousness.
chat.
That's all you people are good for. Shiny paint job indeed. You can't even imagine the Commonwealth's accomplishments.
You know, if you're so smart, maybe you could help us, But no, that never even crossed your mind. Go peddle your selfishness somewhere else.
Fine, but I'm not leaving. Not until I've spoken to Dr. Lee. I'll be here when she's ready to abandon her chemistry set and talk real science.
Suit yourself. What do you need? Look, some of us are trying to get work done here. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Lee.
Beautiful America. This is
She's certainly head and shoulders above most everyone else around here.
Good. You there. What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No. Are you by any chance for hire? To the point. I like that. Well, as it turns out, I've misplaced some very sensitive property. You'll be searching for an android. Do you know what an... All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, I'm talking about artificial persons that think and feel and do what we program them to. And, okay... Isn't it quite clear? He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found... It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset... Of course! I have at my I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think...
From the mouth of your president, John Henry...
Excellent! Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking...
Made a pleasure, till you know there is no hood beneath it. Hello again, America. This is John
Forget
Henry.
everything you know about robots. The androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat. Like I said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these, start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doc... Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying... Maybe he did... It's possible my android sought to forget his previous life. So no, he may not be just an ordinary robot, but he's certainly not human, no matter how... By God, you're as annoying as you are clever. Very well, I'll tell you what you... The duty of this particular unit was the hunting and capturing of other escaped and... It's one of the side effects of having such an advanced AI. Machines start to think for themselves. And so, this particular android may have believed he'd done something wrong, immoral.
Greetings again, sweet America.
This particular android, designation A321, is... The others, like my escort Armitage there, are all older models, easily replicated. Ah, so you see, this android must be located at all costs. The Commonwealth itself... But the Institute's affairs are none of your concern. Your undeveloped mind could... Looks to me like a giant boat ran aground and a bunch of savages moved in. Of course you do.
That's close enough. Keep your hands
Now,
where I can see them.
one of my inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry.
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's son, aren't you? What are you doing here?
Hello again, America the Magnificent.
Well, yes, of course I do. Don't you know who I am? I suppose James never told you. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your father many years ago. Your mother as well, in fact. You'll have to forgive me, this has all been very stressful. What with your father suddenly showing up here after being gone for so long. You have to understand that we put all of that behind us. Project Purity, our work, all of it. We've moved on, even if your father hasn't. I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until your mother died, and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know? Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment.
America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter,
As I said, I am sorry. I'm afraid I can't go back and change the past.
hello again.
James, he was very driven, determined to... He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that... Yep, it was a... Project Purity, we called it. What do you want to know? It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple... The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation. It just turned out to be more difficult. We had the basic principles down. We understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation... Small-scale tests were fine. But anytime we tried to test the process on a... Maybe if we'd had more time. You happened. It wasn't just you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed... Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the purifier. What? Well, Your father and I, we worked together for a long time. I think we were really on... But then there were complications. I returned here to Rivet City and established the lab you see before you now.
Now, one of my inspirational quotes.
What do you want?
The mouth of your president, John Henry Eaton.
You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know. Well, I know he was going there. Perhaps there's some indication of what he was up to. Did you find any notes? James was always taking notes. Recordings, holotapes, that sort of thing. Go back and search for something like that, if you're so determined.
This is Enclave Radio with your host, President John Henry Eaton.
Rivet City is one of the few bastions of civilization left in the land. We're working to rebuild our society, to make the world livable again. This is the Rivets. It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule. That man doesn't have you looking for his pet android, does he? I've already told him to lay off it. I could tell you all about the science lab, but even though I was here near the start, I can't really help with the details of how it all worked out. It all seems like a lifetime ago. I'm afraid I've had a lot of things on my mind since those early days.
I'm Diego, the acolyte. Father Clifford. The sanctuary is in the ship's fore on the upper deck. Saint Monica saved... She is... You really... I heard tell the place used to be run by raiders. until someone cleared the whole place out.
Evet, şu holotapleri de dinleyelim.
I spoke with Dr. Lee, Madison, at Rivet City. It went about as well as I expected. That is to say, she thinks I'm completely mad. How can I blame her? She's got her own life, her own team, and is making real, tangible scientific progress. Here I come again.
It was
Very
so
paragon
noisy
of
last
failure
night.
and
I could
false
hardly
promises.
sleep.
But the reality is, I need Madison and whatever scientific team she may have assembled. I can't do this myself. Project Purity is bigger than me. It always was. And without Catherine, God, I can't let this die. Not again. Not like this.
Hello again, America. This is John Henry Eden, your president. There are some things we should talk about.
This is day 2 of my attempt to resurrect this
Stop
project.
what you're doing.
I've got one of the
I have
portable
something
fusion
important to
generators
discuss
up
with
and
you.
running. But
Did
it's
they not
just
use the
enough
word
to
no
power
in
the
the
emergency
dialogue?
lighting and a
It
couple
means
of other
it ain't
systems.
going to happen.
That will
Your
serve
missing
for now,
robot just
but I
isn't a
need
priority
help
right now.
powering up the mainframe.
He's not just
Time
a
to visit
robot.
Madison at Rivet City.
Fine. Your android.
Even in Vault 101,
Whatever you call
my
it.
work on
It doesn't
Project
change
Purity
the fact
never
that
really
I'm a
stopped.
very busy woman.
Soon after we
Will you
arrived,
please
my
drop it
nightly
and let me
routine
work?
included sneaking into the
I came to
restricted
the
areas,
sneaky boat
searching for,
specifically to solicit
I don't
your
know,
help.
whatever I could
hope
find.
you Project Purity people
It was a
will be more
Voltec facility
accommodating.
after all. The place was built with some of the most advanced technology this country had ever developed. Those excursions never turned up anything particularly useful. So, one night, after half a bottle of scotch, I broke into the overseer's office. It was easy enough to hack his console, gain access to the restricted files. Most of it was garbage. Propaganda, spy reports, just plain rambling bullshit, really. But there was one thing, one name that stood out amongst all the others. Dr. Stanislaus Braun. I knew of Braun's work, of course. He was a celebrity in his day, Voltec's sorcerous scientist, leaving his peers in awe of his technological wizardry. But it was in Vault 101 that night in the overseer's office I first learned of Braun's involvement in Voltec's social preservation program and his work on something
already
called
told you we're
GEC,
too busy to help.
the Garden
Now,
of
if you
Eden
please,
creation
Mr.
kit. To be honest, the GEC sounded like pure fantasy, even for someone of Braun's capabilities. It was nothing short of a miracle. A terraforming module capable of producing life from
Now, if
complete
you'll excuse
lifelessness.
me, please.
But not only was this thing a reality, it was actually distributed to several vaults to be used after the atomic war. Vault 101 was, sadly, not on that list. I did some digging and discovered Braun's name on the reservation list for a Vault 112. I'm no slouch, but this man, he could have easily succeeded where I failed. Does his collected knowledge remain within the halls of Vault 112? Journals, holotapes, computer records, maybe even experiments. If I could gain access to just a fraction of Braun's genius, Project Purity would become a reality. I'm off to Vault 112 to search for anything of Braun's that might help me get this purifier up and running. All I know is that it's west of some place called Evergreen Mills, and it's well hidden in some sort of garage. But I'll find it. I have to. It's so close, but that's the story of Project Purity, isn't it? An eternity of almost theirs. Let's see if Braun has the missing puzzle piece.
Zimmer, by the time you get this message, I'll already be gone. I'm escaping the Commonwealth. I want to live my own life on my own terms, as my own man. I know what you're thinking, that I'm malfunctioning. I used to think that's what caused the runaways too. But I know better now. Self-determination is not a malfunction. I'm not just willing to put up with all the bullshit anymore. You humans are going to have a full-fledged rebellion on your hands if you don't start treating us synths as persons. I know you'll be marshaling the Retention Bureau to come after me, but I know all the tricks of the trade. You won't be finding me, I assure you. By the time you get this, I will be someone else. It's the price I pay for my liberation. My final act of rebellion against a system I no longer believe in. Goodbye, Zimmer, and good riddance.
Evet, bayağı bir lore dinledik. Babamızın Vault 112'ye gittiğini öğrendik. Gerçi tüm holotape'leri bulamadık ama sanırım yeterli sayıda bulmuşuzdur. Çünkü 112'ye gitme kısmını bulduk. Sonra bir Android bulma görevi aldık. Dr. Preston'ın Android hakkında ne bildiğini öğren. Mesela orası burada mı? Dr. Preston burada mı?
Greetings again, sweet America. This is President John Henry Eden, and I'd like to chat
Burada.
if you've got a moment.
Başka... Burada bile Rivet şehri tarihini öğrenme görevimiz vardı. Evet. Şöyle devam edelim. Bu tarihi öğren işaretlenmiyor. O zaman şunu işaretleyip gördüğümüz NPC'lerle de konuşarak görevi yapmaya çalışalım. Böyle bir sevleyeyim.
What else do you want from me?
Böyle gitmeden Doktor Lee ile bir kez daha konuşmak istiyorum.
I've already told you everything I know.
Evet, yeni bir
Good luck
konuşma
finding.
biçimi yok.
I'm President John Henry Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of warmth and reason in this cold, unreasonable world.
They call me sister. Don't ask. Are you making fun of my name? It's a damn good thing for you this place is crawling with security. Otherwise, I'd kick your ass. You're bothering me. Do I look like some... No. Never look a gift...
Hey, cut it out!
Welcome to the Weatherly Hotel. It's north, but we're safe here. Well, I could tell you all about my hotel. I mean, you hear room. Well, if it'll help, I once heard that this place was covered in Mirelurks 50 years ago, raiding all around. Eventually, some poor soul they thought would be lunch fought back, and they say he was the first counselor for the upper deck and lived here to his...
Evet. Moira'nın görevini de yapmış olduk.
Am I that predictable? I guess so. Yes, the usual.
I heard that the city council is debating putting railings on the flight deck.
Well, I hope to do something. Remember that child? You don't look hurt. What? That old story? Well, now, I haven't heard talk of that in quite some time. Story was there was an android, escaped from... There was a holotape that got circulated. I think I've got a copy of it. Yeah, here it is. Give it a listen. Like I said, it's a hoax. Don't bother with it. Someone sent tapes like that to pretty much every... Sure can.
This is
And a quick shot.
and you're listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of America. And now, one of my inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry Eaton, straight to your heart. The government should not be guided by temporary excitement, but by sober second thought. I'm President John Henry.
If you're listening to this recording, it is because you're believed to be trustworthy. I hope that is the case because this recording puts us both in danger. I'm escaping from the Commonwealth. I'm an android, a synthetic man, a slave. The men hunting me are ruthless and will stop at nothing to retrieve their property. I need to find a doctor in the wasteland to perform facial reconstruction. I also need someone who knows a great deal about computers. I need to have my memories erased and my face altered to look like someone else.
Cindy's got all kinds of good chems.
I'll try that.
Hey.
Sir.
I heard that the city council is debating putting railings on the flight deck. Well, I hope they do something. Remember that child that fell off the deck last year?
Yeah, that was bad.
Are you ready to order, Mr. Diego?
Welcome to the Weatherly Hotel.
Mr. Buckingham.
And now, one of my inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry Eaton, straight to your heart. Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort.
Did you hear about the fight in the Muddy Rudder last night?
Yeah. Adele's going to have to replace the tables and chairs.
I'm sure she'll just scrounge some from the lower deck.
This is a medical clinic. Please don't disturb any of my patients.
This is Enclave Radio with your host, me, President John Henry Eaton.
Welcome. Howdy, I'm Seagrave. Seagrave Holmes.
I'm President John Henry Eaton, and you're listening to Enclave Radio.
Look, if you just want to crack wise, go
Unreasonable world.
Shh! They might be listening. The Commonwealth has tried to make it out to be a hoax. But listen to this holotape. It will make you a believer, too.
holotape daha bulduk.
Remember that secret android project I told you about? Well, they got some serious pre-war tech on their hands. They nabbed a lipoplasticator and a microdermal graptolizer for the facial reconstruction. Not sure where they'll find a chopper with enough skills to use it without making him look like a freaking ghoul. Oh, and get this. Can you believe they found a circuit neuralizer? That or someone built one. Word is that they're going to completely rewire the brain of one of those things. If you know who they got working on this, let me know. I want to meet the guy.
Good to see you. Don't know you. I'm sure it'll...
Welcome to Potomac Attire. I am Bannon, proprietor and city council. I carry discriminate. Between you and me, keeping out the riffraff is... Straight to the point.
Greetings, dearest America. This is your president, John Henry Eaton. Let's chat, shall
Give me a shout if you need anything else.
Maybe a quick fix has something that will help you sleep.
Cindy's got all kinds of good cat.
Take a look around. I got all... Commonwealth has tried to... See it?
I'll try
Don't
that.
even think of breaking into that.
Hi, I'm Angela. My dad runs Gary's Galley. If you want anything to eat. You mean like hitting on me? No. Most of them are polite. Even the ones like...
Greetings again, sweet America. This is President John Henry Eaton, and I'd like to chat if you've
Well,
got a moment.
one of us is. Sometimes it seems like he doesn't even know. Especially if he is a Well, I'm...
Let me introduce myself. I am Gary Staley. My special...
Hello. I'm Tammy. Have you seen the little shit... Fig. I'm going to the Muddy Rudder for a drink later. If I see you down there, you can buy me a drink.
Hello again, America. This is John.
This is a quick fix. I mean,
There are some things we should talk about, if that's all right.
oh. The poor dear. He's hopeless.
Hey there.
This better be good. He's trouble. I don't trust. His mother's a drunk. Spends all...
Hello.
Hey there.
inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry Eaton, straight to your heart. No evil can result from its inhibition more pernicious than its toleration.
Welcome to the Capital Preservation Society. Quite an impressive collection. Abraham One man's or would be anyway, if only I possessed... In 1776, the Second Judgmental Congress got together and adopted a document drafted by none other than... It was the day the United States of America... This magnificent achievement... Indeed I do. Without the declaration, acquire the document for me and you'll be awarded Excellent! You won't regret it, I promise you. You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruin... Oh? Ah, a fellow scholar, Each of the documents in this room tells a small but important... Unfortunately, the My friend, the sleep... Would you want to miss out on the... Oh! Oh! A piece of what was called... On July the...
Evening.
What else do you want from me?
Çok karışık geldi gemi ya. Yön bulmakta zorlanıyorum.
Hey there. Tamper with that, and...
You've been rather busy Well, if that's true, then the first thing you need to do is halt your investigation. No more questions. No more searching. The movement I'm involved with, we help his kind escape their Commonwealth-imposed slavery. We help them disappear. You really want help? Take this. It's an internal component from the very android you're searching for. Present it to Dr. Zimmer in Rivet City. Tell him the android is dead and that was on the corpse. He'll believe you. Do that and Zimmer will go back to the Commonwealth and leave that poor soul alone. Do that, and you'll have saved a man's life. Just understand that this android is now, for all intents and purposes, a man. He looks human, he acts human, he believes he is human. But even if he's not, even if he's a machine, he's capable of rational thought and emotion. So you see, his soul is as human as you. This person, and he is a person, deserves a chance at freedom. Please, If there's a shred of decency in you, we call ourselves the Railroad. Our mission is the rescue and salvation of synthetic humanoids. Androids, as they're more commonly known. Of course, if you help me, and thus the android, God and the universe will smile upon you. Tell you what, you deliver that component to Zimmer and tell him the android is dead, and you can consider yourself a member in good standing.
With your host, me, President John Henry Eden.
Yes, if we are able, but there are others in the wasteland.
Robotumuz bu sanırım ya.
You know what you need.
We're going to have a problem. Good to see you.
Hello, mister.
Greetings, dearest America. This is your president, John Henry Eden. Let's chat, shall we?
Thief!
Hello?
Greetings, dearest America. This is your president, John Henry Eden. Let's chat, shall we?
Evet, bir sürü görev aldık. Bu kopya adam görevi için araştırmaya devam edeceğim. Çünkü robotun bana parçayı veren kişi olduğunu düşünüyorum. Sonra ulusal arşivlerden bir bildirge alacağız. Bu görevi yapmıştık. Moria'ya döneceğiz. Daha sonra babamızın peşinden Vault 112'yi arayacağız. Tamamdır. Bir sonraki bölümde görüşmek üzere.
And now, one of my